To many comic book fans of a certain generation, the DC animated universe was their gateway into the world of superheroes. Speaking from personal experience, shows such as Batman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, and Superman the Animated Series were my first real introduction to these characters, and played a major role in me falling in love with the medium of comic books. Specifically, the Justice League animated show, which first ran from November 2001 to May of 2004, was my gateway into the wider DC universe. While I was already familiar with the likes of Batman and Superman, it was this series where I first met characters like Green Lantern, The Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Hawkgirl, and their adventures against the likes of Darkseid, Lex Luthor, Vandal Savage, and Brainiac. I don't think it's hyperbole for me to say that this show, as well as its sequel series Justice League Unlimited, are still to this day seen as the definitive versions of the JLA to many. And it's this fact that makes it so surprising that this wasn't actually the original version of the team that Warner Bros. Animation sought to bring to life. In fact, the Justice League animated series underwent a number of significant changes throughout its development. So in this video, I want to break down the history of just how this show came to be, the development process behind the scenes, and the original ideas for what this highly anticipated animated series would be, and how the likes of Bruce Timm, James Tucker, and Rich Fogel ultimately decided on the now iconic roster, and how they were able to, seemingly against all odds, bring the Justice League to life in the world of animation. Before we continue though, just a quick reminder to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it, and subscribe to Owen Likes Comics so you don't miss out on any future videos. The DC animated universe began in 1992 with the launch of the now iconic Batman the Animated Series. Brought to life by the team of Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and Mitch Bryan, this show became a cultural phenomenon, spanning a total of 85 episodes, and in the process redefining the Dark Knight to a whole new generation. And with the show's success, Warner Bros. Were keen to bring in more beloved characters into its expanding world, with Superman the Animated Series premiering in 1996 alongside a follow-up Batman show, The New Batman Adventures, a year later. The Superman show in particular introduced viewers to many different corners of the animated DC universe, introducing villains like Darkseid and Brainiac, as well as other superheroes like Aquaman, The Flash, and the Green Lantern Corps. The show even gave viewers the first meeting between the Man of Steel and the Caped Crusader in the 3-episode story World's Finest. With the success of the animated shows, Warner Bros. Began developing ideas to expand their universe even further, beginning to work on plans for both a Teen Titans animated show as well as a Justice League series. While the Titans cartoon would eventually manifest in the 2003 animated series, albeit this show wasn't connected to any of the other DC cartoons, the Justice League series underwent a number of radical changes throughout the next decade. You see, the first idea was to incorporate the League into Superman the Animated Series, with episodes planned to introduce the likes of Dr. Fate, Black Canary, The Question, and Green Arrow before uniting alongside the Man of Tomorrow in one big climactic episode. These plans were eventually scrapped, with DC President Jeanette Kahn fearing it would be too much to introduce in what was still a relatively new Superman show. As a result, the conversation began to shift to developing a standalone Justice League show. However, senior figures in WB animation, such as Bruce Timm, remained skeptical about whether or not it could actually be done successfully. As Timm explained in an interview with Wizard magazine,
"Truthfully, it's a difficult show to do. It's got all those characters, and it's hard to keep two heroes busy in an action scene at the same time. We do that all the time on the Batman show. When we have Batman, Batgirl, and Robin in a scene together fighting a group of criminals, you get lost. If you follow Batman too long, you wonder what's happening to Robin. It's a logistics thing. It's very difficult."
This stumbling block was ultimately the reason as to why Justice League the Animated Series took so long to be brought to the small screen, and in its place, WB Animation began developing other shows like Batman Beyond and Static Shock. By the turn of the century, both the New Batman Adventures and Superman the Animated Series had concluded, and with it, it seemed like the opportunity to bring the Justice League to life had come and gone. However, in an interesting turn of events, it would actually be a helping hand from the future that would pave the way for Warner Bros. To finally bring their most iconic team to life. While the idea of making a Justice League cartoon never fully went away in the years between Superman's development and the new millennium, with several different ideas being proposed but eventually rejected, it did seem for some time that the studio's vision of bringing DC's greatest ensemble together would never be realised. This began to change though in November of 2000, when Batman Beyond actually introduced a futuristic version of the League in the two-part episode The Call. According to Timm, it was this episode, alongside the success of Grant Morrison's recent JLA comic revamp, that encouraged them to once again try and get this series off the ground. As a result, Timm pitched the idea for a Justice League series to the Kids WB network, tasking James Tucker, a former storyboard artist on Superman the Animated Series, as well as a director for Batman Beyond, to come up with a short demo reel that they could send to the network, advertising the type of show that they imagined it to be. This reel, dubbed Justice League: The First Mission, showcased a more futuristic setting for the League, with the team consisting of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter, facing off against notable villains like Lex Luthor, Sinestro, and Copperhead. While these would be the League members that viewers would come to know in the eventual series, the reel also included 3 other heroes: Robin, Impulse, and a female version of Cyborg. The idea to include these 3 teenage heroes was devised to appeal to the network. However, following a series of disagreements between the production team and the network, Timm scrapped this idea in favour of moving the show to the Cartoon Network. Upon hearing his pitch, Cartoon Network immediately greenlit the series, and gave Timm and co. the license to tell more varied and complex stories in a similar vein to shows like Batman the Animated Series. And as a result, in November of 2001, the 3-part pilot Secret Origins would finally be broadcast to the world, with the Justice League making the long-awaited debut on the small screen. In these episodes, the various members of the League would be brought together by Superman in an attempt to save Earth from a Martian invasion, further fleshing out the established world of the DCAU with higher stakes and intergalactic threats. Following the successful pilot, the initial season would run for a total of 26 episodes, concluding in November 2002. It proved popular enough for Cartoon Network to announce a second season, which would begin the following July. Season 2 was always designed to be the end of this show, with the team planning an epic finale in the 3-part episode Star-Crossed, written by Dan Reber, John Ridley, and Dwayne McDuffie. Here, Earth is once again attacked, but this time by the Thanagarians, not only forcing the League to unite the planet and prevent their invasion, but forcing Hawkgirl to choose between her homeworld and her newfound friends, eventually aligning with the Justice League, saving the day, and professing her love to Jon Stewart, a subplot which had long been teased throughout both seasons of the show. It was a triumphant end to what had been a long and difficult story of trying to bring the Justice League to life. And although the team would return in subsequent years, those at WB Animation finally had solace knowing that they didn't just succeed in delivering their pledge to create a Justice League cartoon, but they had gone above and beyond, creating one of the most iconic and definitive versions of the Justice League ever brought to the page or the screen. Although Cartoon Network would eventually bring the Justice League back in the form of sequel series Justice League Unlimited, I think it's fascinating to look back at the story of how the original animated series came to be. For a show that was such a formative part of so many people's child and teenagehood, and was their gateway into the wider DC universe and the world of comics, it's almost unbelievable to think that it took over a decade for the League to finally be introduced into the DC animated universe. For the longest time, it actually seemed as if the iconic team would never make their way onto the small screen, destined to always be a project both fans and those at Warner Brothers really wanted to do, but could never quite figure out just how to make it work. Thankfully, the Justice League did eventually make their animated debut, resulting in 2 beloved series that were both a massive part in me discovering my own personal love of superheroes. These shows are still today some of the best and truest depictions of so many incredible DC characters, and demonstrate what makes this company's comic book universe so amazing to a whole new audience. Today, the Justice League animated series is so entrenched into the lore of the DCAU that it's actually hard to imagine what the landscape of superhero television would be without it. Especially when it comes to cartoons, it seriously paved the way for a whole new era of animation, and without it, I don't know if we'd still have some of the other brilliant cartoons that came from both DC and Marvel in the years after its release. The Justice League's success is a massive testament to the likes of Bruce Timm, Rich Fogel, Butch Lukage and Dan Reba for taking a concept that they weren't even sure could live up to its high expectations and eventually deliver something even greater than they could have anticipated. And to think of the series' humble beginnings and the many different ideas that were pitched along the way, it's almost heartwarming to think that against all odds, they were finally able to bring the show to life and do their vision of uniting a team of DC Comics' greatest heroes the justice that it deserves. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like on the video and leave a comment down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talked about in today's video. I can't wait to hear what you have to say as always. If you're new to Owen Likes Comics, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notify bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you enjoyed this and you want some more, there should be some other videos on screen right now that you might also enjoy. If you want some more of me, you can follow me on Twitter just at Owen Likes Comics, and if you want to help support the channel and help me make more videos, you can do so over at patreon.com/Owen Likes Comics. That's all for this video though. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. But until then, take care and keep reading.